Welcome to Springfield, everyone! Are you guys ready to rally? Awesome, it is so good to see you all. Thank you for showing up. Before we get started, I want to give some shout outs to the legislators who are with us, standing with all of us Illinois communities in this fight. Give it up for House Leaders Ann Williams, Anna Moeller, Representative Blair Sherlock, Rep. Favor Diaz, Representative Teresa Ma, Representative Mussman, Representative Grassi, Senator Rachel Ventura, and we have two very special additional legislators who will be speaking directly to us that we'll announce here as we get started. So thank you guys all for being here. Appreciate your guys' commitment to this work. Folks, my name is Christine Nanicelli. I am the senior campaign representative for Sierra Club, Illinois, and a proud member of the Illinois Clean Jobs Coalition. You guys are over 500 strong today. 11 different buses from across the state representing 58 of 59 Senate districts. Coming to deliver a clear message that state lawmakers need to stand up to big tech data centers and stand up for Illinois communities. So many of you have been working tirelessly over the past several months. And we've known from the start that this fight to protect our water, our communities, our power from big tech wouldn't be easy. That this would require both state and local action. And you've been doing it. We've seen the incredible work you all have taken up in your communities, fighting back against fast-moving data center proposals, work to enact responsible pauses in data center development, and even passing local protections, like in the city of Aurora. Whether you have prevailed or your efforts have fallen just shy of what your community is working for, I want you to know that your voices are being heard. And look around. You are most definitely not alone. You've hosted over 20 town halls in the last 3 months, engaging thousands of Illinois residents from Rockford to Carbondale to discuss the impacts of data centers and the common sense solutions we need to protect ratepayers, our communities, and our environment. From all this work and organizing that you've done that has brought us here today, here's what we know to be true. First, whether you live in Little Village in Chicago, Elmhurst, Bloomington, Edwardsville, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you know it's time for big tech to pay its fair share. It's time to hold big tech accountable to responsible energy and water protections. It's time to end backroom deals and make sure communities have a seat at the table. And we know it's overdue for state decision makers in this building behind me to meet the moment and pass the Power Act. And here's what else we know to be true. We are going up against some of the most powerful corporate interests in the world. And the big tech corporations have the ear of too many local officials, and they certainly have the ear of state legislative leadership. I said it. Remarkably, leadership is still considering to keep handing out data center tax incentives and breaks. They clearly haven't gotten the message that Illinois voters want to see them make big tech pay their fair share and not hand out state subsidies to corporations like Microsoft. And that's why we're here. Because while corporate money talks and is powerful, so is organized people. So are organized voters. And today, we are here to make sure our voices are heard, to make sure state decision makers know that we're not going anywhere until the state legislature finds the political courage to stand up to big tech and pass the nation-leading protections in the Power Act. We're here to make sure they know it is unconscionable to keep handing out state subsidies to data center corporations while they are cutting critical programs and services for working families and our communities amidst an affordability crisis. Like everyone here, I'm frustrated. I'm angry. We're going to turn this anger into action today, and we're going to drive it throughout the course of this summer to get this work done. I also want to call on folks to resist the urge to feel cynical. And it's not because I have faith that lawmakers will suddenly have a realization of the right thing to do. No. I have optimism and faith in us. In organized people, in the strength and depth of our coalition, in the people who got on a bus to come here today for the very first time. I'm optimistic because over the course of the last 16 years since I've joined this movement, I have seen us win David and Goliath battles that once seemed so daunting. Battles against corporate polluters to protect communities from both new and existing facilities. Battles to win groundbreaking policy solutions to build a just, regenerative, clean energy economy that leaves no community behind. So many of the most iconic wins in the climate justice movement have come from this state, have come from you. We've never won these fights because decision makers came to the realization that it was the right thing to do. We won because we built power, because we were resilient, and slowly but surely we began turning the tables and forcing action. We are turning the tables now. If there's two things I want you to remember about today, it's this. First, I want you to look around at the people you're standing next to. The people who you're going to walk the halls with. They are your brothers and sisters in this movement, and our power comes from our commitment to stand shoulder to shoulder and fight together. Second, I want you to remember that while we're not passing the Power Act today, we can and will win this fight. We are going to win this fight. And it will set the standard for data center protections for the rest of the nation. Illinois' Power Act is the most aggressive, comprehensive data center legislation in the nation. We're trying to do something that no one has done yet. And it is more than just playing a game of defense. The Power Act is about changing the rules and the game itself, putting working families and our environment first, not big tech profits. Today, you're going to hear from champions in the General Assembly who are stepping up, and advocates and community members who are championing this fight on the ground. Together, we can stand up, we can keep building the power we need, and we're going to win this fight. So first up, I want to welcome our champion in the House, who is unapologetically standing up to big tech, our bill sponsor, House Leader Robin Gable.
Good afternoon, and thank you so very much for being here today. I want to begin by recognizing the incredible people standing behind me and standing in the crowd. You came from across Illinois because you understand what's at stake. You didn't come here because this issue is easy. You came here because it's important. And I know many of you are frustrated that the Power Act hasn't moved faster. I understand that frustration because I feel it too. But I want everyone here to remember something. In Illinois, we do big things. And the Power Act is a big thing. The Power Act is the most comprehensive data center bill in the nation. It's about big tech paying their fair share. It's about local accountability. It's about water transparency. And it's about protecting our communities. Nothing else in the country has put together legislation this comprehensive because there is no other state like Illinois. That's right. There is no other state that got CEJA done. There is no other state that got SURJA done. And when we pass the Power Act, we will once again be the only state to get this done. The fight is not over this spring or this session. The governor proposed a pause in the data center tax credit in his budget address, and we need to get that done in this year's budget. The last thing we should be doing is handing out tax breaks and incentives to these profitable corporations. And then we need to get to a negotiating table as soon as this session ends. I want to be clear that the House is ready to come to that table and start moving toward action.
That's right.
But that's why we need you all to keep talking to your legislators and urging them to sponsor the Power Act. The Power Act must be the focus of our negotiations this summer to ensure our protections are strong enough to protect ratepayers and communities as well as our climate and our water. Together, we're going to continue pushing, we're going to continue building support until we get the Power Act across the finish line.
That's right.
Keep telling your stories. Keep making sure the people you elected understand why this matters. The problem is not going anywhere, and neither are we. We are going to keep fighting, and we're going to win. So when I say power, you say act. Power. Act. Power. Act. Power. Act. Thank you.
Give it up for Leader Gable. And let's give it up for Representative Lillian Jimenez and Representative Norma Hernandez, champions of the Power Act. All right. Next up, I want to welcome up Senator Villavalum, our champion in the Senate, holding the line on our protections in the Power Act. Give it up for Senator Villavalum.
Good afternoon. Let's try that again. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Ron Villavalum. I am the state senator for the 8th District on the northwest side of Chicago, northwest suburbs of Cook County. Thank you all for being here. And yes, I am hot in this suit. I want to start. I was scanning real hard on the signs, and I asked Christine about chants, but I'm going to start us off with, I saw one up here. Our community, our water, our power. Repeat, our community, our water, our power. Our community, our water, our power. That's right, and that is our power. That is our community. That is why we're doing this, because of the valuable resource of water. Hundreds of you have traveled here today from every corner of Illinois to spend this beautiful Saturday at your state capitol. There's a lot you could be doing in a Saturday in May, but you're here because this matters. When something affects our families, our homes, our bills, our voices deserve to be heard. And I want you to know, we hear you. I hear you. Make sure we continue to hear you. The organizing, the phone calls, the conversations with your neighbors, the emails, we get a lot of emails. That's how this bill gets done. I know, as Representative Leader Gable has said, you're frustrated that we're not getting this done by tomorrow night. I'm frustrated too. Families are worried about rising costs. Communities want transparency and accountability. People want to know their drinking water is safe. We need real and meaningful action. That's what the Power Act is all about. This is, as has been mentioned, the most comprehensive data center legislation in the nation. It addresses energy, water, transparency, accountability, and making sure communities aren't left carrying the burden while others, let's be clear about who others are, corporations reap the benefits. This is a big bill for a big problem. But big bills and big solutions take a lot of work. Big solutions take coalition building. Big solutions take persistence. We can't let up now. Are you all ready for this? Yeah! Are we going to fight for this? Yeah! Today, that's why we need all of you to keep talking to your legislators. Make sure they are co-sponsors of the Power Act. The protections in the Power Act are the guardrails, the common sense guardrails we need to protect ratepayers, communities, and our natural resources. The impacts of data centers are too big to ignore. We're going to keep fighting for transparency. We're going to keep fighting for fairness. We're going to keep fighting to hold big tech accountable. We have to keep up this fight. Keep up the fight. Keep organizing. Keep showing up across this entire state. Keep making sure your voices are heard, and together we're going to get this done. And when I say power up, you say the Power Act. Power up! Power up! Power up! Power up! Power up! Thank you so much.
Give it up for Senator Villavallum. And welcome up another champion, Representative De La Rosa. Are you ready for some more chants? That must mean we need Giselle Torres from Prairie Rivers Network to come up here and lead us. There she is.
All right, y'all. I know we're upset, and I know that we're fired up. So let's show Big Tech what we're about. So when I say who's going to keep Big Tech in check, everyone's going to say we are, okay? Who's going to keep Big Tech in check?
We are!
Who's going to keep Big Tech in check?
We are!
Who's going to keep Big Tech in check?
We are!
Amazing, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Giselle. Time to bring up another incredible advocate for their community back home, a community that has taken on data centers and won, Aurora Mayor John Lash.
Good afternoon. My name is John Lash. I'm the mayor of Aurora, Illinois, the second largest city in our great state. I'm also a climate activist and a union carpenter. Before I get started, I want to just show you what success looks like. Last night, I handed out diplomas for 17 justice-impacted individuals who went through the CJA workforce development training programs firsthand. And that's all because 3 years ago, we were all standing here demanding justice and change, and we got it, and those people's lives have changed. When I became mayor a year ago, I made it clear that my administration would put people and planet first, which is why I'm proud to be here today speaking in support of the Power Act. And I'm thrilled to see lots of young people today. I'm grateful that all of you are here. But I also find myself thinking that at age 52, I understand how imperative it is that my generation does whatever we can to address the climate crisis. With respect to climate, we're at a pivotal moment in American history. Without question, unregulated data center expansion, without the Power Act, without renewable energy, will accelerate the climate crisis, and we cannot afford that.
That's right.
And as we push back, I'm proud to say that Aurora, Illinois is leading the way. In March of this year, the city of Aurora passed the strictest regulations on data centers in our entire state. The Aurora City Council protected the Biometric Information Privacy Act, set energy efficiency standards, established water usage limits, banned evaporative cooling systems, required water and energy reporting, limited diesel generator testing, required regular noise monitoring, and most importantly, required data centers to bring their own renewable power. And this is what a People and Planet First agenda looks like. And if the city of Aurora can pass strict data center regulations, the state of Illinois can pass the Power Act. And we will require data centers to bring their own clean, renewable power and pay their fair share. I just want to share briefly with you how we got there. We have 5 existing data centers, 5 more on the way. Aurora residents affected by data centers refuse to be silent. Those residents turned into activists and advocates for themselves. They attended our community listening sessions, they did their research, they learned why their power bills were increasing, and these concerned citizens learned that ComEd was effectively charging them to subsidize the infrastructure that powers data centers. Money was coming out of our pockets to help facilitate more data centers in their backyards. That ain't right. So advocates started attending city council meetings, sharing their research, they engaged their community in social media debates, and the tide started to turn. But it wasn't just their neighbors who needed convincing. They were fighting a deep-pocketed industry bent on putting profits over people. Literally the day of the vote, CME, elected officials from Springfield were calling Aurora aldermen it had never happened, trying to get them to stop. But that vote went down 12-0 because we stood up for our community. Our residents wouldn't stand for it because in Aurora we take pride in putting people and planet over profits. We demand accountability, we stick up for our neighbors, we stick together, we fight back. And that's how we get to policy change like we saw in Aurora, because of everyday Illinoisans. People like you showed up, raised concerns, raised their voices, and advocated for change. That's the power of community activism and advocacy, the power of civic engagement and democracy, the power of transparency and responsive government, the power of putting people and planet first. That's the reason we are going to win the Power Act. Thank you.
Give it up for Mayor Lash. When we fight, when we fight, we win. All right, next up, our next champion from the United Congregations of Metro East, the Reverend Darnell Tingle.
Ooh, sunlight. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Darnell Tingle, and I serve as the Executive Director of United Congregations of the Metro East, also affectionately known as UCM. UCM is a faith-rooted organizing institution of congregations, community leaders, working families, and everyday people across the Metro East, fighting for clean air, safe water, and real community power. We represent people who know what it feels like to be invited to the press conference, but left out of the decision-making. We hear promises about jobs, investments, and development while still living with flooding, sewage backups, diesel fumes, dirty air, industrial pollution, and broken promises. So I did not come to Springfield just to give a speech. Y'all got plenty of people for that. I came bringing voices of people who are tired of corporations calling it progress while communities like ours pay the price. And I came to say something very plainly so everyone is clear about where we stand. We are not anti-technology, we are not anti-job, we are not anti-development, but we are against exploitation dressed up as development. And exploitation with the permit is still exploitation. Data centers are coming. They are being proposed, they are being negotiated, and they are being approved. And too many communities are being forced to respond, one city at a time, one village at a time, one zone meeting at a time. That is not a strategy, that is a setup. Because while regular people are still trying to figure out what is happening, the lawyers have already met, the developers are already called, the lobbyists are already moved, and the paperwork is already in motion. And that is why we need the Power Act. We need statewide standards. We need statewide guardrails. We need statewide accountability. We need protection that covers all of Illinois. Not just the communities with the most money, not just the towns with the most lawyers, not just the places with the most political access, but everybody. And we already know which communities usually get sacrificed. Black communities, brown communities, working class communities, downstate Illinois communities. Communities already living with dirty air, dirty water, sewage backups, and diesel fumes. The Metro East has carried enough. Enough. Our neighborhoods are carried enough. Our families are carried enough. Our children have carried enough. And now we're being asked to carry one more burden while corporations call it progress. No. Not this time, not over us, not at our expense. And let me say something else very plainly. We know that this bill will not pass this session. But if this bill does not pass this session, this movement does not end today. Today is not the finish line. Today is the starting line. And if Springfield will not finish the job this session, then we will spend the summer organizing. We'll go church to church, neighborhood to neighborhood, one-on-one to one-on-one, community to community. We'll make sure families understand what data centers mean for their air, their water, their energy bills, their land, their jobs, and their future. We'll make sure lawmakers understand that delay is not neutral. I repeat, delay is not neutral. Because inaction is a choice. Delay is a choice. Leaving communities exposed is a choice. Allowing data centers to move forward without community input, without accountability, and without real community benefits, that is a choice. So every lawmaker in this building, to every decision maker in the state, and to every corporation trying to move faster than democracy, hear us clearly. Choose clean air, choose safe water, choose community power, choose democracy, choose the people, choose the Power Act. Thank you.
Give it up for the Reverend! Big shout out to another House champion, Representative D. Avalar. And next up, I am so proud to bring another incredible EJ leader to the podium, Brenda Santoyo of the Little Village Environmental Justice Organization.
Hey y'all, my name is Brenda Santoyo. I'm a water and environmental justice advocate at the Little Village Environmental Justice Organization in the southwest side of Chicago. I am here today because I hear my neighbors' concerns about what this massive data center boom means for them. We can't see them in Chicago yet like you do in the rural parts of the state, but we feel them. With the rising energy and water costs, families are barely making ends meet, and the electricity grid and water infrastructure upgrades needed to sustain these data centers will force households to continue stretching their paychecks to keep up with these utility costs. That ain't right. Up to 5 million gallons, that's how much one hyperscale data center can use every single day. That's the same amount as a medium-sized town. Our aquifers are being depleted, and yet we are still seeing some of the largest data center proposals in the state being approved in water-stressed communities. Our neighbors are relentlessly pushing back because we know that that's not right. Data centers aren't required to publicly disclose how much water is used. They aren't even required to track how much water they're using. Our great state of Illinois is being preyed upon by big tech due to our proximity to fresh water. But the cost of doing business for the multi-billion-dollar tech industry in Illinois should not be subsidized on the backs of hardworking families across the state. These developers should not be able to drain our beautiful Great Lakes water without guardrails and without regard to the potential of droughts, of water contamination, and increasing water usage costs for customers. Our water infrastructure needs repair, but not for the needs of these new developments, for the health, the well-being, and for the needs of our communities that so desperately depend on it. These data center developments are moving too fast and too discreetly. We need transparency, we need accountability, we need protections, and we need it now. So ask your legislator if they're saying yes to protecting our future, or are they protecting the pockets of these water-hungry big tech data centers? We're calling on our elected leaders to stand up for communities and to stand up to big tech and to urgently convene a negotiating table to pass the Power Act. Thank you.
Give it up for Brenda from El Vejo. All right, next up, and our final speaker, from Joliet, Griselda Chavez from Warehouse Workers for Justice.
Good afternoon. My name is Griselda Chavez, and I'm the environmental justice organizer at Warehouse Workers for Justice and a proud member of Joliet Residents for Responsible Growth. I'm thrilled to be with you all today to fight for guardrails that will protect all Illinoisans from unchecked data center development. My role as an environmental justice organizer with WWJ and as a resident of Joliet has made me sure of two things. The first is that environmental justice is worker justice. The second is that unchecked growth of data center development across Illinois is a threat to environmental justice and worker justice. Our workers are often the people most affected by pollution, unsafe conditions, and a broken system that puts profit ahead of people. That's extremely apparent with the rise of data centers across the state and around the country. A massive data center just got approved in Joliet. If it's built, it'll be one of the largest data centers in Illinois, coming in at 795 acres and using 1,800 megawatts of energy. The very first public meeting about the project was held on March 5th. The project was approved on March 19th. During this time, our community rightfully demanded transparency by raising questions over water and energy use, as well as public health concerns. Residents submitted nearly 5,000 digital petition signatures, dozens of emails, and hours of public comments. I was one of many residents who waited patiently to speak over what became a 2-day meeting that lasted over 8 hours. When I finally had my turn to speak, my 4 minutes of time were cut short as any further discussion on the subject of data centers was prohibited. I, along with 2 other women who spoke, were removed from the council chambers. We brought legitimate concerns and valid questions, and we still need answers. We are not done demanding accountability and transparency, and that is what the Power Act delivers. The Power Act will end backroom deals, hold data centers accountable and ensure local communities have a seat at the table in these critical discussions. After all, these conversations are about our water, our power, and our communities. We won't be silent. And if lawmakers go home tomorrow without passing the Power Act, they'll be hearing from us all summer. We'll continue to organize and mobilize to fight for our water, our power, and our communities. We will continue amplifying frontline community voices and demanding policy changes from officials to truly achieve environmental justice, because together we can put people and planet over profits. Juntos podemos priorizar a las personas y al planeta por encima de las ganancias. Thank you.
Give it up for Griselda! When we fight! When we fight! Thank you guys all so much for being here. This is just the beginning. We're gonna now head back into the Capitol, find your lobby captains. We are looking for more co-sponsors of the Power Act. We are asking them to say no to data center tax incentives and tax breaks. Great job, everyone. Just the beginning. We can do this together. Thank you all.